Hi, my beautiful people. Welcome back to Reinvention Real Talk, the podcast where we unpack what it really takes to transform your life. And today, we're talking about something that sits quietly in the background of every reinvention journey. And sometimes it's the last thing that keeps us stuck the longest. And what is that? That is letting go of the past. And I'm not talking about just letting go of an ex, guys. I'm talking about letting go of the version of you that you outgrew and you're desperately holding on to. Letting go of the job you gave your whole identity to, and now it's no longer there. Or maybe it's there and it just has drained your energy every single day that you can't bear to continue with it. Maybe it's letting go of a dream that didn't happen. Maybe you always envisioned yourself as a principal dancer in the ballet and you just didn't get there. And also, the most important part of this is to be able to forgive yourself for needing something new and becoming a different version of yourself, a reinvented version of yourself. And let me tell you, letting go isn't weak. It isn't giving up. You know what? It's graduation, my friends. So if you have been holding on to something that no longer fits the woman or man you're becoming, this episode is for you. Now, why does letting go hurt so bad? Why do you feel it in the depths of your heart, in the pit of your stomach? Your head just can't let it go. Well, my friends, letting go feels like death because you're mourning a version of yourself, a dream, a relationship, a life path that just didn't turn out the way that you imagined. So let me get personal with you. There was a time when I was the glue holding everything together in my family. I was the mom. I was the wife. I was the fixer. And I believe that that role was my purpose. My identity was so built up into that role that I forgot my dreams. I forgot my passion. And if I stopped serving others, particularly my husband at the time, my children, that I would lose value as a woman, as a mother, as a wife, as just me. But slowly, that role started to break me down. I was constantly performing smile on the face, empty on the inside. Perfect wife, perfect mom, empty on the inside. I wasn't filling that cup that needed to be filled. And when that marriage ended, honestly, I didn't even give myself time to grieve. I didn't give myself the time to grieve that identity and let it go. I instead immediately got into a long-term relationship, trying to transfer from what that was in my married life into this new relationship. And I can tell you from the get-go that just wasn't going to work because I still felt unhappy. I still felt unfulfilled. And I did not grieve that identity because I kept asking myself, if I am not this, then I'm just not anything. And let me tell you, it wasn't until that long-term relationship after my marriage, when it ended, I finally was able to grieve the marriage that I had lost. I was able to grieve that identity of who I thought I needed to be in life and let it go finally. And it took me all those years to then grieve the relationship I had just ended and the marriage I had ended many years before, and the identity that I tried to carry on. And I can tell you, until finally I was me, I felt a ton of bricks off my chest. I became who I am. I wanted my own identity, and I was able to start finding Karen. Didn't mean I abandoned my children. It didn't mean I abandoned my family. It didn't mean I abandoned my friends. But guess what? I found myself again, the one person I should have never abandoned. I think that's really, really important. We always tend to neglect ourselves first, and we're always the last on the list, and we should always be number one, and not in a selfish way. But if we're not number one, we cannot fill other roles for the people that do deserve that in our life, people that we love and that we cherish and that we take care of. So let me ask you this question. And I want you to answer it truthfully to yourself. And you may have to go look in the mirror and ask yourself this question. Who are you outside of the roles that people placed on you? Are you the good girl? The good guy? The dependable guy? Are you the wife? Are you just the husband? Are you the father, the caretaker, the corporate boss, the sex symbol? I mean, there's so many things. But I need you to truthfully answer inside. Are you ready to let go of that title and get honest about your truth? So, sometimes you've already walked away, but energetically, you're still trapped into that past. You're holding on. And these are signs that you are still holding on. So I want you to listen carefully and see if any of these resonate with you. Okay? Number one, you're constantly re-explaining your past to new people, justifying your decisions like you're on trial. Listen, your past is your past. Those were your lessons that you needed to learn from those mistakes. If you did not learn a lesson from that past mistake or from your past, I am going to almost guarantee you're going to completely repeat that cycle over and over. You have got to stop justifying your decisions to people, re-explaining your past. Your past is your past. Make sure you've learned from it. I believe the past is so important to our growth if you use it properly. So that's one to think about and ask yourself. Okay. Let's talk about a romantic relationship. You casually check their socials, but it ends up ruining your whole day. I may be a little bit harsh in saying this, and this is something I do tell my relationship coaching clients. You have got to let go. You've got to get off their socials, delete the texts, take the pictures off your phone. If you want to keep the pictures, you know what? You don't even have to leave them on your computer. They sell these little flash drives, $8.99. You can get them on the internet, the big box stores, and put them on there if you don't want to lose those pictures. Because guess what? It's going to bring you back to that past, and it's going to ruin your whole day. Because all of a sudden, you're going to start making stories in your head of what that person is doing with their life. So just let go of it. You need to just let go of it if it is ruining your day. Number 3, you downplay new opportunities because a part of you is still wanting to be rescued by your old story. This could be a job. This could be getting involved with someone that is so much better for you. This could be joining friends. There's just so much. You're just so stuck in the past that you don't want to move forward into any new opportunities. It's really sad to continue living in what was instead of what can be. And how about when the last thing, okay? You hold on to things just in case, just in case that dress just in case that email thread if I need to prove something to him, just in case that anniversary post because I want to remind myself of the times that we were happy, in your drafts. Like, no, 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 no. There is no just in case. Let go. You need to clear out the old to make space for the new. I'm a firm and huge believer of that, whether it's jobs, opportunities, relationships, friendships. It's no longer in your timeline. It's served its purpose. You got to move on. So I'm going to share a little bit of story. So one client of mine, I'm going to call her Monica. Okay. Monica could not stop revisiting her old business that failed during COVID. And she kept saying to herself, if I had waited just a few more months, if I had just taken out another loan, if I just had fill in that blank, okay? But in the meantime, she was blocking herself from starting the nonprofit that she felt called to build. Those were blocking her blessings because she was so fixated on that past. Just take from your past experience what you can and what you've learned and move forward, because what you don't bury will haunt your future potential. Let me say that again. What you won't bury will haunt your future potential. I want those words to resonate and ring in your ears. Because let's talk about the cost of holding on. The real cost. I'm not talking about financially, I'm talking about the real cost, which is worth so much more than money. The real cost of staying stuck in the past. Yeah, it's going to bring you emotional exhaustion. The cost of you carrying pain every day becomes your new normal. You wake up heavy. You avoid mirrors. You feel like you're living on autopilot. Now, that's not reinvention. That's survival mode. Why do you want to live in survival mode? Why do you want to live on autopilot? You know that is my huge saying. I have it on my social media. I say it in my podcasts. Refuse to live your life on autopilot. You have one shot. Don't live your life on autopilot. Give it full throttle. Number 2, the cost of holding on. You keep attracting the same lessons. You keep dating the same emotionally unavailable man or woman, but in a different outfit. You keep taking jobs that drain you because you don't believe you're allowed to be happy and paid. No, no, no. You don't want to do that to yourself at all. Number 3, and I've known people like this, okay? Bitterness. Let's be honest. Some of us are mad. We're mad that we gave so much, that we loved so hard, that we stayed so long. And when the anger isn't processed, it becomes bitterness. And it's really not healthy for us. With the bitterness becomes negativity. With the negativity becomes just an existence, just to be here. Like, no, you were not put on this earth to feel that. You've got to work through it. You also start thinking, well, people are always a disappointment, when in truth, you have not healed from that one heartbreak that you need to heal from, so you can find that person that doesn't disappoint you, or that person finds you, because remember, you will call in your correct person. So letting go isn't about peace. It's about freedom for yourself. And freedom is expensive, but staying stuck costs you way more. Now, I am going to give you guys some healing solutions, okay? So let's go. Take a deep breath. Come on. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. All right, let's talk healing. And I'm not talking about that surface level healing. I mean real embodied letting go. All right? Let's play a little game called Name the Truth. I want you to say this clearly with me, what resonates with you. I need you to say it clearly. I need you to say it loudly. You may want to look in a mirror. Remember, I am huge at mirror work. So you may want to look at yourself in the mirror. It may seem strange in the beginning, but I'm going to tell you it is so much worth it within your healing process. So I want you to say it clearly. Are you ready? If it's a job, I want you to say, this job no longer serves me. If it is a relationship, this man, this woman cannot meet me where I am at now. Look at yourself. You ready? Let's say this together. I need to let go of who I was so I can meet who I am becoming. There is so much power in naming your truth out loud. Number 2, I want you to grieve with grace. Grief is not a failure. Grief is a love letter to what mattered at one point in your life. All right. I remember the first time, this was years back, I slept alone in my new place, a new house that I had just bought for me and my children after my divorce. No kids, no partner. It was just me. And I lit a candle and I cried through the silence. Not because I missed anything, but because I was finally sitting with myself, though I hadn't taken the time to grieve. It was a little bit of a like a letting go of, this was the first time truly in my adult life that I was alone. Like, I had never been alone. I had left my parents' house, went straight into marriage. After my marriage ended, I went into another relationship, so I had not been truly alone. But I remember that night when my marriage ended in that new home, it was the first time that I sat by myself, literally. And I think that's why I was afraid. And I had never experienced anything like that. So I don't want you to rush that part when you start grieving. I want you to sit in stillness. I want you to feel it fully. Or you're going to carry it forever, or you're going to really carry it longer than you need to, like I did for years, where I shouldn't have. But that was a lesson that I learned. And you know what? I am here to relay that message to you guys and help that one person that maybe will listen to this and say, I'm not going to take years to grieve something. I need to be grieving now so I can bring in a better life for myself and where I am meant to be. Let's go into closure. Closure is yours to create. If you're waiting for someone to say sorry, you're going to wait forever. Don't ever wait for someone to say sorry. In your head, just, take that apology, however you want to make it, and just forgive them. You need to move on. Because guess what? People will never tell you the truth and say sorry in a way. They're always going to manipulate it to make themselves look better. Even they may say, I'm not blaming you for this, or I'm not placing blame. Well, yeah, you're waiting for that sorry because I did XYZ. It's not going to happen. It really isn't. It will take a person that is really healed to be able to say sorry the correct way. So you got to just stop. Whether it's a boss, whether it's a lover, whether it's a past relationship, whether it's a friendship, you got to let it go. Stop waiting for that person to say sorry. You're going to wait for them to come back and do right by you? Well, baby, let me tell you something. That may never happen. That may never happen, but here is the shift. Closure is not a conversation for you to have with the other person. It's a decision you make within yourself. So remember that. That's super important. Here is something that is so important, and I have done so many times, and it has helped me. Once I learned the healing process and I was able to elevate myself through those healing processes, I love this. I want you to sit down and I want you to write a letter to the person. Could be a parent, it could be a child, it could be an ex-partner, it could be a coworker, a boss, a friend, a neighbor, whoever it is, okay? I want you to write a detailed letter. Just write, let it flow, let it flow, let it flow. It could be someone that even passed away. You don't need that person to be alive in order to get that apology that you need to move on. I want you to do this, and I either want you to say a prayer, I want you to take a trip, I want you to burn the memory box, I want you to close the chapter. Even if they never apologize, because you're probably never going to get that apology, I want you to move on for it. I don't want you to send that letter, but I want you to move on and say, I accept your apology for me, for my inner peace, which is so important. People hold on to so much bitterness and pain because they want that apology. It's never going to come, or it's most likely not going to come. You need to find that apology within yourself for your own peace. It's like taking, I know you've all heard this, you take the poison, you're with the bitterness, you're only feeding yourself. You're only giving yourself that spoonful of poison instead of that spoonful of love which all of you deserve. So let's try this. I want you to write your old identity on a piece of paper. Example, I release being the overachiever who always needed to prove herself. Whatever it may be, but write your old identity on a piece of paper. I want you to breathe. I want you to safely burn it outside. And in the ashes of what you have burned, I want you to speak your new declaration. I choose ease. I choose joy. I choose authenticity. It's important. You're making your new declaration. You are in charge. I want you to rewrite your narrative. Instead of saying, I wasted time, say, I gathered wisdom. Instead of saying, they broke me, say, I rebuilt myself stronger. Speak life over your pain because you are not your past. It is so important to know you are not your past, my loves. And number 6, this is amazing. I want you to vision yourself forward. I want you to, leap into your future. I want you to create a vision board based on not what society wants, but what the healed version of yourself desires. I'm huge on vision boards. I have a vision board. I change it constantly to what's going on in my life, what I'm seeking in my life. And let me tell you, it really helps me. It helps me when I look at that vision board and I know exactly what I am envisioning for myself. I also want you to maybe almost create yourself a new persona. I want you to dress for the vision that you have for yourself. I want you to embody how that new version of yourself, how you talk, how you walk, how you interact, how you speak like someone who is no longer explaining themselves, just embodying you yourself. I want you guys to do this with me, okay? This is an affirmation. For those of you who are not big on affirmations, I kind of feel that if you're listening to this podcast, you kind of are a person that seeks affirmations every day or close to every day, and you know what I'm talking about. I think affirmations are so important. What we speak becomes the reality of our truth. So let's go into this affirmation. Take a deep breath in through your nose and exhale 3 times. Let's go. Exhale 1 more time. You got this. Hold it for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. Repeat this after me. I am not who I was, and that is my power. I honor what I was, but I release it in love. I am becoming the version of me I have always needed. Let's say it again. I am not who I was, and that is my power. I honor what was, but I release it in love, and I am becoming the version of me that I always needed. Let it land. Let it live in your body. Let that soak in. That's some pretty powerful words there for you. Definitely. So I am so proud that you joined me on this episode, that you are looking 2, release. So if you're walking through a season of letting go, I want you to know you are not alone. This community, this podcast, this mission, it is for you. Share this episode with someone who's in the messy middle of becoming. I want you to celebrate your courage. Tag me on KMLM21 on Instagram. Tell me what you're releasing. Put it in your story. I want you to join my newsletter on KarenLarea.com. And if you are ready for personal transformation work, coaching is open with me. I only have one spot left. This is your time. You're not late. You're not broken. You are just in the process. Let go and let your future find you. Remember, your past shape you, but it does not define you. This is your time. This is your chapter. And baby, this is your reinvention. Until next time, I'm Karen Larea, and this is Reinvention Real Talk. Thank you for joining me.